My name's Asaf, I'm the owner of Bypola. The first time I went to drag racing, I was 13 years old. My older cousins had a Supra. Bro had probably about 460 kilowatts. He went 1060 at a 132 mile. That weekend, we went out, my cousins took me out for a drive with them and their mates. His mate had a 33 GTST exactly like this. And I fell in love with Skylines ever since that car. And I was like, one day I'm gonna build one of them cars and I'm gonna race it at the track. And that's where it started. I've always loved the 33s. When I bought this car, it had 297 kilowatts. At the time, I was actually an apprentice. I was working for one of my mates that owned a smash repair, and it was his car. I had no money to buy the car. I probably had I think it was like 8 grand or 10 grand or something. I remember I paid for the car, if I'm not wrong, I think it was like 10 grand or 12 grand. I was short like 3-4 grand for the car. I was only young, I was 19 years old. So I went home to my parents and I go, lend me some money. And they had a heart attack. They, what are you buying? I go, I'm buying a car. I go, lend me some money. Anyways, long story short, they ended up giving me the money after arguing with them or whatever. So I ended up buying the car and that's pretty much where it started. I had the car at 290 kilowatts. That setup actually blew up with me like a week after. Kept on lifting the head and then eventually spun bearings and whatnot. That went on for like a few months. It was a 2530 when I bought it. We ended up putting the 2525 in there. Just pistons, rods, just the basic setup. It made 360 kilowatts. It went 1090 at 125 miles per hour. And that's where I got the bug. I was like, man, like, this is sick. Like, it was fun. Like, grabbing every single gear, just floating around the track. It was like, this is a lot of fun. I changed the clutch in the car that following week. We went back out the following Wednesday. We ended up going with that same setup 10.6 at 132. My cousin actually approached me and goes to me, stop spending money on your car. You keep going to people that, you know, like go to someone that's got experience with these cars. I go, who am I gonna go to? He goes, I'm good mates with Anthony Matuk. I'll take you for a drive down to Anthony Matuk's. We'll sit down and we'll talk to him. So we went down, sat down with Anthony. I basically told Anthony, like, I want something that's not gonna break. Anthony, being the cocky person he is, he goes to me, I can guarantee you, I'll build you a 9-second car and you will not break my setup. Thinking to myself, like, I don't know this guy real well, right? And I'm thinking, like, this guy's full of shit. Like, there's no way in the world I can't break the setup. Like, I broke every setup that was in this car prior. Like 3 2530s at the start with the first mechanic, then the second mechanic went through the 225 engines, and then just constantly breaking shit, right? And always had issue after issue. We agreed on a price, whatever. I dropped off the car to Anthony. A few months later, car was finished. It made 720 horsepower. He finished it on a Friday afternoon. There was racing, there was a street meet on a Sunday. We went down to the track, first pass, like shit you not, first pass. It went 10.00 at 140 miles per hour. Back then we knew nothing about wheel alignment or suspension, nothing like that. It had, if I wasn't wrong, it had like 90 10s in the back. It was like soft as shit, it was just bouncing around the whole track everywhere. Anyways, after that, we ended up putting suspension in the car. We went back out the following week. We went first hit 9.4 at 151 mile. And then from there, it was just turbo upgrade after turbo upgrade. Mind you, this is the same setup that Anthony had built from when he finished the car. So we're talking now, like a year later, we've put a bigger turbo on there. Went out, we went 920, 9.1, 9.1 again. And then Amph goes, this car's got an 8-second pass in it. When we went to 9.1, Amph goes, this car's got an 8-second pass in it. I was like, but is the car even built for an 8-second pass? Like, you told me it was a 9-second setup, and this is now like 2 years, 3 years later. Anyways, we ended up putting a bigger turbo on the car. We went back to the track, and then we had issues of breaking diffs, breaking drive shafts, breaking gearboxes. That went on for a good year. Anyways, it was a private track hire. I wasn't gonna go, to be honest with you. I had work that day, it was during the week, and Amph goes, let's go to prep track. Took the day off work, loaded up the car in the trailer, we went out. First pass, it actually bogged off the line and it still went 880 at 159. The car stayed with Anthony's setup, that first setup, for 5 years. Never had an issue at all. We used to drive this car around on the street on 55 pounds, go to street runs, go drifting. I hated the manual by that time because, I'm not joking, I probably went through about over 10 gearboxes, over 10 diffs, over 10 sets of shafts. Amph convinced me to put an auto in the car. He goes, I could be less strain on the car, whatever, we'll just put like a mild setup. You know what, no problem. So we ended up putting an auto in the car. I went a bit bigger setup. At the time, it was still a 3-litre. We went out first time with the auto, it went 840 at 170 something. And honestly, it was the most boring thing I've ever driven in my life. I go, this is fucking shit. I literally packed the car up after that day, never drove the car again. It sat in my shed for literally 3 years, 3.5 years. So in the meantime, I had got engaged, I had got married. I had a baby on the way. I go, you know what, like I used to dream, like I used to watch on YouTube world's fastest Skylines and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, you know what, like it'll be a dream for this to ever come true. Like I never thought it would come true, to be honest with you. But I knew like with the car that I had and being a 33 GDST, it's a lot lighter than a GDR. I go, if I replicate King 32 setup, put it in this car with a 2-speed, the reason why I went the 2-speed is because I felt the Turbo 400's their first gear is too short and you had a lot of issues, like you had a lot of chances of bombing the tyres in first gear. I didn't want to be that car that goes out and bomb the tyres, bomb the tyres, bomb the tyres. We went the exact same setup as King 32, put an 8.8 rear end in a, so by that time we had learnt the suspension of the IRS, how it all works and how we advanced me and Sam and Anthony and the boys from the Tukes, and we had a real good thing going on. So the first time we went out with this car, like first time brand new setup, we went 700 at 202 miles per hour. It was amazing. Like we went 122 in the 60, like we're talking first meeting out with a brand new setup. The car was brand new, bumper to bumper, color change, the whole lot. That shocked me. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like I knew the car was gonna run a 6-second pass eventually, but I didn't think like it was gonna do it that fast. Like to go 7.0 in your first meeting, and then we realized like after we went that 7.0, we were checking the data log and the actual RPM drop in between the gears, it was no RPM drop. So the converter was actually so really that pass there would have went a 6. So its first ever pass would have went a 6. So we ended up doing a converter change, went back out, we went 690. When we went to 690, the bonnet decided to come up, smashed this windscreen, smashed the fucking roof. And I had just finished painting the car not long before that. So the car was like all new and like I was shattered. Like, yeah, we ran a 690, all the boys are cheering. I'll come back around, I'm angry as fuck. And like, yeah, I was excited at the same time, but like I was shattered because the car was like a wreck. So we ended up fixing the car, whatnot, resprayed the whole car again. We knew the car had a lot more in it. We couldn't make any more boost, so we were limited to 70, 71 pounds of boost. And the Amp's like, I can't get you to go any faster on this boost. So we didn't have enough air going into the turbo. So it was actually suffocating itself. So we put the car back on the dyno. We literally picked up 270 horsepower just from this boost issue. Obviously, because the car made more boost, so the car made more power. We didn't know that the duct had to go to the turbo, right? To the mouth of the turbo. So we had the headlight duct on there thinking, yeah, no worries, air's going in, but there wasn't actual air going into the turbo. So Metro had one, which is on a 32 GDR, and all we done was like, we literally took Metro's headlight duct off. It wasn't even meant to fit onto this car. Me and Asaf just started cutting it up, bashing it up, and we made it fit. Just made it work. It was dodgy as, but anything to go racing, right? So we've gone out 4 days later after going to 668 at 211 miles per hour. Amp said when he got off a dyno, he goes, if this car leaves the line tomorrow, this car's going a 649 at 221. I basically looked at Anthony, I go, bro, I go, shut the fuck up. I go, like, you're off your head. I go, there's no chance that we're gonna pick up that much, like in ET and mile per hour, just from a headlight duct. So we went out the next day, got up on the trans brake, got on the 2-step, I let go of that trans brake button and the car was just wild. It literally threw me in my seat. I've never felt like that in my life. It took me towards the wall. It clicked second gear, I've steered it back into the middle of the track and just went for it. It was fast. I knew it was a fast pass. I didn't know how fast it went. The boys called me, they went 649 at 221. I was like, get I go, no way. I go, you sure? He goes to me, yeah. I was like, the fuck? Like, we just went spastic after that, man. Like, we went back out that same night. We went 651 at 222. The box was shot. Like, I hadn't touched the box in 9 months. So we were racing the car for 9 months at that time. We hadn't touched the gearbox. So we fixed the gearbox and whatever. This was a while after. We went back out, then we had the intercooler explode. And then we changed the intercooler, put Hypertune's intercooler on there. We went out, it went 639 at 229. That was unbelievable. Like, I knew the car would go faster than a 649 because it wasn't one of the best 60 foots that we've done. So I knew it had a bit more in it, but to think it was gonna go a 3, I did not expect that. So when he went the 39 at 229, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is massive. Like, forget about the 39, 229. Like, at the time, Rob Margin actually held the record. And he had gone 637 at 224. I was like, man, they go, my dream might come true right now. Like, I'm thinking, for me to go that mile per hour, There's no reason for me not to be able to be the world's quickest and fastest Skyline. You know, that had made me the world's fastest Skyline then. We were literally just waiting for the right temperature, the track to come around, and then on November the 1st, we literally made that dream turn into reality. Put that button and the car was just insane. It went 105 in the 60, 277 to the 330, which was fucking crazy. And again, another gearbox issue. So it shifted into second gear, it actually spiked the limiter. I heard it bang limiter, then grabbed second, but it didn't really grab second as it should have, right? So it was actually slipping the box the whole way, and I could see the RPM, like the shift lights just on the whole time, and I was like, F it, just hang in there, because I was angry from the day, like you wouldn't, you know, spun a tire, the CV and blah, blah, or whatever it is. Whatever, I just want to get it down. I just want to have a pass, get the pass out of my system. As I'm getting to the 1,000 foot, the car actually kicked on me, like literally just stepped out on me, and I just had to grab the chute, pull the chute, and straighten the car up. Got to the bottom of the track, and I'm still shaking because I nearly hit the car. Like the car stepped out on me at like 225 miles per hour. And then I've got back to the bottom, I'm packing my chutes, the boys call me. They go, you just went 631 at 215. I go, what? They go, 631 at 215. I go, get the I actually did not believe them, right? Fully didn't believe them. The dream of being the world's quickest and fastest Skyline actually come true. All the hard work, all the late nights, all the years of struggling, like all the years of like setting myself back because of a fucking race car, like it all paid off. I don't want to touch the car right now. I still need to wait for the track to come around and to actually send it for that pass. If we do end up in the 620 mark, that will make us the quickest and fastest import radial car, period. So basically the engine, a Nitto 3.2 stroker in there, got CP pistons with the alloy rods, Matux Racing's head package with the cams and the whole lot. So it's basically the whole Matux Racing engine program. The whole car's Matux Racing, right? It runs a Haltech computer, Nexus 4 from Plucker Racing. He actually supplied us with Penske shocks all around. And then you've got me and Sam on the suspension and all the custom arms, all our bits and pieces, our little tricks in the rear end. And it's just been over the years, like we've just learned so much over the past years, like with Metro and King, because they were IRS, and all we've done is like what we thought that we should have done on them cars is done on this car, and it seemed to work in our favor. It doesn't have a wide journal in it. It's got no ignition system. It doesn't have the big turbos that everyone's running, like the 110s and whatnot. It's actually got a 102 on it. No lockup, 2-speed power glide. When you have over 2,000 horsepower, that's when the auto is actually fun. Like I couldn't even think about putting the manual back in this car. Just in that sense, doesn't make sense, like to me anyways, how fast the car goes. Like all the other boys are running ignition systems, 110 turbos, RBXs, if not RBX, wide journal, the whole lot. 3 speeds, lockups, no lockups, whatever, right? So comparing to the other cars, it's very basic. All the PRP stuff's on this engine, rocker covers, PRP cam gears, with all the PRP stuff, dressing it up, making it look pretty, and the sumps, one of my favorite parts of the PRP stuff. I love the products he makes, and I love how passionate he is about the race scene and how he helps. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people in the race scene help. Like, I've got a fair few sponsors that all help, but I feel like, especially with Anthony, Anthony's my number one. Like, if it wasn't for Anthony, the car wouldn't be what it is right now. Like, I don't get charged like an ordinary customer, right? Like, I've been mates with Anthony for 18 years, and my passion for racing isn't just for me, it's like for the shop too. Like Matux Racing, the name, it's everything to me. You know, over late nights, like whether it's my car or their cars, I'm there. When it comes to Herman, there's never been a time where I've called Herman and told him, hey Herman, I need this, or I want to do this, and it's never been like, nah, this is too much, or this is, yep, no worries. When do you want to start? He's like me, he's so G'd, so passionate, it's crazy, you know? And you need people like that in the race scene. If you don't have a good group together, you're never gonna go fast. It's not one person that makes you go fast, it's a team. That's why I thank all my sponsors. Like, if it wasn't for them guys, Matux, Herman, Turbo Smart, Hypertune. Another big thanks to Haltech. They've been great help too. Whatever I ever need, there's always the support there. Mitch is always with us, helps out. I don't want to forget anyone, but like, yeah, like all my sponsors, but if it wasn't for them, like we won't go fast. That's the truth. It's teamwork. There's no I in team, you know? It's a bit of everyone that helps with the car to go fast. In terms of power, it makes on the hub dyno 34 horsepower. When you want to match the mile per hour to what the car's doing to ET and weight, the car's making a lot more than 2300 horsepower. But we don't chase numbers on the dyno. We literally just put it on like 70, 75 pounds, make sure there's no misfires, and do everything else at the track. So I want to leave the car the way it is for this year. So I want to actually put slicks on the car and go have some fun, racing Pro Turbo. Probably change the converter, I'm not sure yet, but I will be definitely leaving the 2-speed in there, the same gearbox, and we'll see how far we go with that. Because there's no doubt that this car with an extra 200 horsepower, there's no reason for this car not to go 590 or like 236 mile. This car goes 414 to the half with a slipping gearbox. Like it's just, if that doesn't tell you something, then I don't know. Like to go 414 is massive. If this car goes like a 409 or even a 410, that's a 618, 619 on the same boost without changing anything. So if we can go a 6.1 the way the car is now, you're telling me we can't knock off a 10th and a half or a 10th and a bit for that 590? I think it's achievable. Only time will tell. Are we gonna have a crack at it? 100%. Am I stubborn? Yes, I am, but I will not stop. I'm gonna keep trying and see how far I can go with this car next year. I'm aiming for next year to do ignition system, 110 turbo, bigger engine, because we're at our limits now. Like, it shouldn't be doing what it's doing now, and if we push it any more further, like it's on like 85 pounds now, so anything more, it's gonna start throwing rods. I don't wanna do that. Like, we've had a good run. I am waiting for Herman to finish the 35 spline diff with the CVs and the shafts and everything. Once Herman's actually finished the setup for the 35 spline, we know the car can go a lot better in the 60. So the car goes 105 in the 60 at the moment. There's no doubt that this car can go like 101s, 102s. Like, we're still leaving on like 19, 20 pounds of boost. You know, we've had the car leave the line on 25, 26 pounds of boost. We are gonna keep pushing. We are gonna keep trying to make this car 60 foot better, because obviously the better we're 60 foot, the faster we're gonna go. There was a point to prove being IRS. Everyone said it couldn't be done. I'm very stubborn, Amp's very stubborn, Sam's very stubborn, and we were like, you know what, we're gonna prove everyone that it can be done. Like, we knew what had to be done. It was just a matter of doing it. That's where, again, it comes into place where me, Sam, and Amp came to an agreement and said, this arm should be like this, or this should be like that, and we've modified and done our tricks in the rear end. And everything that we've done and every theory that we've had has worked. I'm confident to say that we've conquered the IRS. No one's done what they've done with the IRS. Obviously, as you know, we are the world's fastest IRS car, period. We had actually done a custom cradle for King 32 probably back 5-6 years ago. The stuff that we wanted to do to King 32, we've done it to this, because as you know, King 32 has been off the road for quite some time at the moment. All our cars in the Matux game, like in the Matux team, whoever's running IRS will have the same setup as this car. Because there's not only me that wants to go 5s in an IRS car. We've got Metro, we've got my car, we've got Mac, the new Mac 34 coming out. We've got Nader and King 32s coming back out. Anthony's car as well, the 34. What this car has, all of them are gonna have. When I run a 599, that's when I'll be like, that's it. The car will be hanging off the roof of here, and just leave it as a fucking souvenir.